Hey, what's up, Monero fam? Welcome back to another episode of your weekly Monero Roundup.
Up.
I'm Matt,
I'm Jill.
and together we are the founders of the Open Economy Initiative. We're on a mission to promote cryptocurrency commerce and adoption through education. And to that end, we do a lot of content. Primarily, it's focused on Monero and privacy coins. I went back and was looking at our videos, and that's kind of really all we've been doing lately is the Monero news and the private, like the open source privacy preserving software, like firmware for your router or setting up a Nextcloud, things like that. So yeah, if you're interested in that stuff, please check out our guys. Let us know what you think about them. If we can improve on them, let us know. We're always trying to get better at what we're doing here. So yeah, other than that, we love you guys and your support, and let's just get right into the news for the week. What do we got first, Chill? I'll share my screen here.
Awesome.
All right, Monero transaction all-time high. So was that yesterday? We had 40,768 confirmed Monero transactions, which is the highest that it's ever been. And I don't know. What do you think about that, Chill?
That was the day before yesterday, and yes, that's something to celebrate. Monero Matteo actually made an extensive video about it, so I don't think we need to go into details, but yeah.
Cool. And this, I just pulled up, this is the transaction graph for Monero, and you can see it's pretty much just been steadily climbing since about 2016. And yeah, just recently we hit that all-time high. And check out Monero Matteo's video on that. He's got some great content, and yeah, we'll let him hype you up on it because he's got some good info there. Yeah. So let's see here. Next. Oh, yeah, next. So, yeah, please get your mops ready. Get your towels ready because we're about to spill some tea with the Monero drama around Monerotopia and Doug and Sunita's event and this Chris Sky guy. Yeah, Chill, I'm going to let you give us some context here. What happened? What was everybody all fired up about?
Okay, so I'm gonna go in chronological order. So I believe, and I hope I'm not butchering the name. Is it Erciccione?
For some reason, I call him Eric, but I don't know why I call him Eric. So I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, let's call him Eric for the purposes of this video. So I believe he reached out to Doug via email, raising his concerns about Chris Sky. Now, those who don't know, Chris Sky is quite a controversial figure in Canada, who sort of aligned himself with the anti-lockdown movement. But, as we're going to see later, he's also kind of childish in many ways. But anyway, so I assume that when Dog received the email, I assume he did not reply. So in my mind, so basically Dog thought that, okay, he's going to investigate.
Yeah, who is this guy? Sorry.
Yeah, who is this guy? Like, because there were some allegations there, like Chris Sky, homophobic, racist, Holocaust denier, is still confirmed as a guest at the Monerotopia conference. So Eric. So basically he sent an email, and Doug probably received it. I thought, okay, I'm going to investigate this. But on Eric's side, he didn't receive any reply. So he thought that Doug is ignoring his email. And
so his first reaction was to put that on Twitter.
Well, I think it's like most conflicts, it always starts with the lack of communication, right? And
sure,
written communication is incredibly bad to resolve anything. Like if you email or message someone on Twitter, I mean, it's so many ways to misunderstand it. Like people can just jump on a Jitsi and talk.
Right.
I know I'm kind of old school, but yeah, I think that would have helped. Anyway,
Face-to-face is usually better for conflict resolution. I agree with you there.
Yeah. So then what happened is on a Sunday is when Eric brought those up on Twitter publicly and addressing it on Twitter. Well, Doug was out with his family, and he just didn't have a chance to get back to him because they haven't investigated those allegations. So he was still, I suppose he was still on the website. So then all hell broke loose. And people took sides, and everybody just, I mean, it's on Twitter, right? So it's like it's kind of invites everybody to just chime in their opinion on it. And they were like people who were pro Chris attending it, and there were people who were anti Chris attending it, and then there were people who were pro Howard Chu attending it, and there were people who were anti him attending it. So it just turned into a public shit show, to be honest. So then if you can just go back.
Oh, sorry.
That's the last tweet, and we don't need to be at the dumpster fire yet. So then what happened on the same day, I guess there was some conversation on Reddit as well that I did not follow. So on the same day, Doug posted this, "Hey Chris," tagged him, which is the person in in this case, this guy. "So you have been removed from the Monerotopia.com event. I know you weren't even 100% in, but some very vocal Monero community voices have you labeled as racist and are threatening to cancel the event. I do not know what the truth is." So then, because Chris is also, I mean, he's not very mature, from what I can tell. So then show his reply. So he notices later that evening that he has been removed, and he immediately proceeded to name call Doug instead of, like, it's not even what he said, because he said, I mean, the reply assumes that Doug just removed him for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I guess what do I want to say here? Let me think this through before I just go off. I mean, I like Doug a lot. I feel like Doug does a lot of good things for the community, and much, I'm a supporter of Monerotopia and Monero Talk and all that stuff. Doug and Sunita are awesome at promoting adoption for Monero. So my bias, I think, on this is more on Doug's side. And yeah, I mean, I don't agree with this stuff. To me, it just seems like he's upset that, he's no longer allowed to attend. So he's kind of like lashing out, but
yeah, well, and at the end of I mean, there were hurt feelings in the process, but the way I look at it, at the end of the day, Doug and Sunita spent a lot of time organizing this conference and just a lot of time promoting Monero. I mean, sometimes they're up at the crack of dawn doing Monero. I don't even know how they get up, like 5-6 o'clock.
They drink gratuitous coffee. That's how.
That's how. And then, sometimes they're out there talking to business owners, and, it's just a lot of work. And it's like, we need to be excellent to one another and try to work with people. And, if you don't like something, like when Bitcoin Miami was a great example. I was supposed to actually volunteer at the event, and I looked through the list of speakers, and they had people like Max Kaiser and stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to, it's not much for me to learn from people like.
Right, yelling about number go up and I can buy a congressperson.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Where's the how am I increasing my IQ with this?
Yeah, so then I just decided quietly that I'm not going to attend, and that's that. So it's like, we don't need to throw a fit or attack other people. At the end of the day, we each one of us, we're trying to promote Monero in our own ways. There's not even really a well-defined we, because it's just a bunch of different Monero enthusiasts. And, you know, we don't have to agree on everything. We can also organize. We can organize as many conferences as we want. Like,
yeah,
no one's stopping anyone.
It's a pretty open, you know, it's open source. If you can, you know, you can have a conference and invite whoever, and if people don't like it, then they don't need to attend. And that seems to be kind of what happened with this. I mean, and so, you know, people were like, hey, I think Howard, well, I mean, he kind of did it in a questionable way, but he was like, hey, I'm not going to participate in this. And I think Justin had a similar opinion. And so, you know, Doug preferred to have them attend than Chris. And so he disinvited Chris. And then, you know, everybody got on social media and whipped up their followers. And, you know, now we've got this big, this big drama. And I don't know. That's kind of what it seems. That's the news.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm 88 years old. I know I don't look like that. I am yet to see a happy person, you know, hating on anyone for anything, whether that's their ethnicity or race or sexual orientation or what they do or what they don't do. Like, no happy person will ever waste their time on what other people are doing.
Right. No, you're 100% correct. I agree with you. And it's unfortunate because I know how hard Doug and Sunita work, and I know probably how I have to imagine they've already put a significant amount of time and effort and probably their own money into making this Monerotopia event. And it's just kind of sad to see, you know, that hard work not being, you know, kind of being discounted because, you know, there maybe wasn't as much vetting that went into inviting Chris as could have happened. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's kind of what it seems like it happened. Like, okay, we invited Chris. If we could go back and do it again, maybe we wouldn't. And you know,
I demand KYC on everyone.
Yeah, right. I don't know. So it doesn't seem like it's that huge of a deal to me. I mean, if I was going to go to Bitcoin Miami, I would still go to Monerotopia. I would love to hear Howard talk. I would love to hear Justin talk. I don't think I'd care if I heard Chris talk. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think I would like the conference to focus on Monero. Monero is on the spotlight. And yeah, I love how you know, Doug has a sense of humor, and he just posted this tweet about, you know, we should rebrand as a dumpster fire. But you know, the bright side of things is it's like 5 months away, and the whole entire community knows about it.
some viral marketing. Just give it a couple months. Everybody's got short-term memory loss. We'll forget about it, and I think it'll still be a great event. So yeah, I hope it works out. I hope this isn't the end of the Monerotopia event in Miami, and we will we'll be watching.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you can put your towels away. That's it. We're done spilling the tea, I think. What do we got next here? Oh yeah. Okay, so this was very, I mean, I don't know. I enjoy mining cryptocurrency. That's kind of a big thing that I do. And I saw this article from Sweden calling for the EU, European Union ban on crypto mining, proof of work crypto mining, mind you. And this to me is really, it seems like the wrong way to go about this. Like, it's not like banning proof of work coin minting is what they're calling it. So, I mean, immediately that's just kind of like, oh, all right, it's a boomer or someone who doesn't understand this because they're not really, I mean, yeah, proof of work coin minting, whatever. But you know, it's you need to have a more energy efficient extraction of Bitcoin. But I think what they're not understanding is like the Bitcoin community, if you know anything about them, is very resistant to changing things. And they're very, very committed to proof of work. I would be shocked if you saw some kind of proposal gain any sort of traction within the Bitcoin community about like moving to proof of stake or some other kind of consensus, you know, scheme or algorithm other than, you know, the current proof of work, the way they're doing it. So like, to me, this is just going to further centralize the Bitcoin mining, or I mean, just any kind of cryptocurrency. It's not even Bitcoin, even though that's the biggest power consumer. It's just any kind of proof of work. So, okay, now we can't do it if this goes through, and it has not yet. No mining in Europe, and there's already no mining in China. And so, you know, the places where you can mine are getting kind of smaller and smaller. And if you're seeing other governments also, you know, follow suit here, if EU does it, you know, the countries that you can mine cryptocurrency in are going to be smaller and smaller, and that's going to create more and more centralization. So it doesn't sound like a huge deal on the face of it, but I think the long-term effects of this would be very scary. And I really hope that this doesn't go through. I know, I mean, obviously I'm in the States, I'm not in Europe, but I have to imagine there's a pretty powerful crypto lobby there, just like there is here. So I hope that they can make some good arguments against this, and you know, not allow it to go through. And yeah, because that's just going to create more centralization, in my opinion. Yep. Move on to the next one. Chill, or you have a comment for that one?
Yeah, no, I just think that, you know, this is why RandomX matters so much, because you know, they can ban ASIC import to their country, but it's going to be kind of hard to ban CPUs.
Yeah.
So I think it's another strength that Monero has. It's almost like a rat that's ready for the rat race.
It's like a cockroach in the nuclear holocaust.
Exactly.
Nice.
It's like all the hardship is paying off, because we've been pushed aside and, you know, vilified and censored from exchanges, and now it
Still
shows
here.
that all that work is kind of positioning Monero to be at the forefront of this government regulatory crackdown.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the Monero mascot should really be either a rat or a cockroach, because that's that's like you try to kill it, you try to stamp it out. You're never going to get rid of cockroaches or rats. I think they're here to stay, and that's kind of how I sort of think of Monero a little bit.
Right.
Don't cancel me, please.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. And I have faith in our European brothers and sisters and the cryptocurrency community of not letting this go through. So we'll stay tuned on that one. Next up, we have an interesting development here in China. I mean, China has very tight currency controls. The government really wants to know what you're doing with your money at all times. And it turns out that in Japan, a bunch of Chinese investors spent about $237 million US dollars worth of yen, I'm sorry, of cryptocurrency, used that cryptocurrency to purchase Japanese real estate. And they did it kind of behind the backs of the Chinese government. China did not know that some of its citizens were purchasing this real estate in Japan, because I guess they would have stopped it or something, is sort of the implication here. And they obviously, it got found out, and now, you know, China and Japan are talking about how they need to collaborate to make sure this can't happen again. But the subtext to this was, what do we hear? Yeah, the difficulty of tracing transfers of cryptocurrency was a major reason that the People's Bank of China announced a total ban on various services related to crypto. And, you know, I'm thinking here, and Chill, you brought this up. It's like, well, you know, Bitcoin is pretty easy to trace. Ethereum is pretty easy to trace. Which cryptocurrency is hard to trace? Well, Monero. So, you know, were they using Monero? They don't really say in the article here, but I would imagine if you're trying to make an anonymous purchase of some real estate, Monero is probably the first place that you would look. But again, definitely speculation. We don't have any proof. They don't state that in this article. But Yeah, it was
You
interesting.
can't say the M word.
Right? Don't want to give Monero any free marketing or give anybody any ideas. But yeah,
How to do it.
right. I mean, that's just, I mean, to me, that's a great, I mean, it really proves the utility of cryptocurrency. That's a lot of money to, I mean, that's what, almost $250 million. And
Mm,
that was all, used to purchase real estate in a separate country without the authorities of either country really realizing what was going on at the time. And I mean, yeah, down the road, they figured it out, probably because it was such a large amount of money. But at the time, nobody had any
mm.
idea. And so cryptocurrency is really, truly providing financial freedom in this case. Yeah. So, yeah, kind of a cool
A
case.
couple of months ago, I saw that Tor actually was hiring Chinese-speaking employees to sort of promote and educate the Chinese citizens on how to use Tor, because Tor is on China's banned list, so you have to kind of do
Right.
some extra work. But Lokinet is accessible still. So I was thinking about that, because with all the bans in China, like Chinese citizens have a hard time even accessing mainstream
Yeah.
cryptocurrency and the internet.
Right, right. Yeah, the Great Firewall of China is a very
Mhm.
real thing. And I'm not as up to speed on that as I probably ought to be, but it's interesting to see that Tor's making a push to try and educate people on it, Chinese speaking people on how to use it and how it could benefit them, which I love that. I love seeing that. It's cool.
I would love to see a push on the Monero education as well, because I feel like places like China really could benefit from Monero.
Absolutely. And they may already be using it and we just don't know, right? Because that's kind of the whole point of using Monero. You don't know
Right.
who's using it. So they very well could be. But I mean, education, I mean, you and I were both very big on the education side of things. And yeah, that's definitely, you can always have more education. The more awareness, the better off the service and the community and all that will be. So,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting article there. Okay, next up, we've got the Feather Wallet funding proposal to continue developing Feather Wallet for another 3 months. They're requesting 93 Monero. So far, they've raised about a little over 10% of that. And yeah, if you'd like to contribute, we'll have the link down below. Feather Wallet is a great desktop wallet for Monero, and the team is putting out some very high quality work. Obviously, it's all open source, or it would not be in the community crowdfunding system here. But yeah, really uh, nothing bad to say about Feather Wallet. It's a great wallet. And if you want to support them in the continued development, please contribute to that proposal. And yeah, if you want to see kind of a further breakdown of exactly what they're going to spend that Monero on, you can see that. But the team has a pretty good track record of putting the funds to good work or good use, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's time for shout outs. We talked what?
It's time for shout out.
Oh, you're gonna shout into the mic.
No. Yeah, so we already mentioned that Monero Matteo has a video on the Monero transaction volume.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so I'm gonna put the link in the description box below.
All right, yeah. The next shout out we have here is Kevin Wad talking about the supply uncertainty with Monero. That's a pretty big criticism from the Bitcoin community. Is like, we don't actually know what the supply of Monero is. There could be somebody who's figured out a bug and is just printing Monero at will. And because everything is so private, there's no way to really audit the supply for sure. And while I think that there's a lot of nuance that comes with that claim, and when you dive into the tech and you take a look at it, while I think literally in the literal sense that is true, you can audit the supply to the point where the probability that there is a supply inflation bug is basically next to zero. It's not zero, but it's very, very, very close to zero. And so for most people, myself included, that's good enough for me. If it's 99.9999999% likely that there's no supply bug, I'm okay with that, because it's like 1 in a trillion that I'm wrong. I'm okay with those odds. I will take that bet. And that's basically what he kind of breaks down in this video, talking about the different types of inflation bugs, gets into the cryptographic assumptions. So if you're into the technical side of things, and he does present it in a way you don't have to be like a math major to understand it, even though these these look kind of intimidating, the titles of these sections. But yeah, check it out if you're interested in the answer to that question, because this is a very common argument and there is some validity against it. But when you kind of dive into it and understand it, you sort of realize like, okay, yeah, it's technically true, but it's pretty much a, basically almost a 0% chance that that would be the case. So yeah, that's Kevin's video. Our last shout out, probably the best video we've talked about on here today so far. I am a little biased though. We had a great live stream with Untraceable yesterday. Chill, you set this all up. And we were talking about the secret network. What did you think about that stream we did?
I'm actually very excited, and I understand that there are risks associated in this not being a trustless way of, locking Monero. There's some risk associated, but
Absolutely.
Again, the API is at the moment he said like 100% on the Monero pools, and I'm definitely excited about this project because I think it's taking DeFi in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction, and whatever people say, like I wouldn't not be interested. I wasn't interested in DeFi because it's public, because the gas fees. I mean, remember the $20 fee?
Oh, it's worse than that now, but yeah, I do remember it.
So that just really put me off. Like I was like, okay, I'm really not interested in this. Like besides the risk, there's just so many drawbacks.
Right.
Whereas once it becomes private, like secret network, I'm actually interested in trying this, and I don't advise people to do it, but I will definitely check it out.
Well, I think the place that we kind of all three of us got to on that stream at the end of it was, this is a great new evolution of DeFi, having it private and having, the transactions and the interactions with the smart contracts, the result of that be private. I mean, you can see that you interacted with a smart contract, but you can't see any amounts or balances or anything like that. So there's still definitely room for improvement, but it's great to see projects like Secret making the attempt. And, I have to imagine as time goes on that the security and the privacy will improve, because it does. I get the feeling that they're not just kind of paying lip service to the whole private transactions and private DeFi. They do seem to really be dedicated to making the best, most private form of decentralized, finance that they can. With that being said, I know Chris Bleck, did a little research and found that there's, like a trusted admin key for it. And there's some other issues with it that kind of make the control of it fairly centralized at the moment. But I also know there's some proposals within the community to take away that kind of centralized power. So it's really just let's follow it and see where it goes. It's pointed in the right direction. Definitely still has some ways to go before it's like the ultimate DeFi privacy preserving protocol or project that we kind of all want to see. But it's like, 100% APY on your Monero that you're staking with it. That's pretty cool. But because, I mean, there's no free lunch. So with the APY that high, to me, that's kind of saying, well, there's a lot of risk involved with that. If I'm getting 100% return on my funds that I'm staked, that probably means there's a pretty high level of risk that, something could go wrong. So a lot of risk.
Yeah, I mean, it's not resistant of rug pools, but at the same time, I believe they are currently building a Monero bridge. I mean, a trustless bridge. So,
Right.
they definitely trying. And, I hate to put down projects at their early days, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you think Bitcoin was centralized in the early days, there
Yeah,
was
it's
a
like
couple
Hal
of
Finney
people.
and Satoshi were mining it. There's two people mining it. That's pretty centralized.
Exactly. So you got to give it some time, but it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. So yeah, I'm excited
Right.
about
Yep.
seeing.
Me too. Me too. I'm pretty stoked. Okay, I think that's it. Um, the last final shout out is for your morning cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, I wanted to. I don't know if you ever mentioned it, but we order Gratuitas from Doug and Sunita, Monerotopia,
Yeah, it's
and
good coffee.
it's great coffee, and we get to tip the farmers from Guatemala directly. And I think that's truly incredible use of Monero. That you can support these hardworking farmers all the way in Guatemala. And I really wish if they would add Madagascar vanilla. Like, that's my dream, if someone knows someone in Madagascar.
Reach out to Chill
Yeah, or dog.
or Doug. Got it. Got it. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. I'm interested to see the responses to this, since every time there seems to be Monero drama, there's a lot more engagement around these videos. But yeah, I think, I don't know. At the end of the day, it seems a little overblown. Doug and Sunita do some great work, and the Monero community is not only represented by the top people who are the most visible. It's just kind of all of us collectively together, and we all have different opinions. And yeah, we just gotta, let's be friendly. Let's just be friendly, please.
Yeah, and respectful.
And respectful. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.